You thought you had found love, but what you really had was a convincing imitation. She wore the mask well with her practiced smiles, sweet promises, and occasional warmth. On the surface, it looked real, but deep inside, you always sensed something hollow. That emptiness you carried wasn't insecurity, it was your intuition whispering the truth. Love can't be faked forever, and when it's not real, the illusion eventually falls apart. If you've been left feeling shattered, lost, or questioning everything, it's time to stop replaying the story, looking for the mistake, and start recognizing the truth. She never loved you. Not really. And that truth reveals itself in patterns, signs you probably saw, but didn't want to believe. Signs that explain why all your effort, all your sacrifice, all your loyalty never seemed to matter. Today, I'll give you clarity. 11 signs she never loved you in the first place. This isn't about blaming her or blaming yourself. It's about opening your eyes, about giving you the closure she denied you. Let's begin. 1. She never honored your effort. You gave her your time, your energy, your devotion. You bent yourself into shapes you shouldn't have, apologizing when you weren't wrong, rearranging your life so she'd never feel neglected, planning, buying, giving, showing up again and again. But to her, none of it mattered. Your devotion wasn't seen as love. It was treated as duty. She minimized it, ignored it, acted like it was simply what she deserved. Here's the truth. When a woman truly loves a man, she treasures his effort. She notices. She appreciates. She says, "Thank you." Indifference is the opposite of love. And if she couldn't even acknowledge the sacrifices you made, you weren't her partner. You were her servant. That's not romance. It's exploitation. 2. Your needs never mattered. Love is about balance, about giving and receiving. But whenever you voiced what you needed, time, affection, understanding, respect, she flipped it back on you. Suddenly you were the selfish one, the problem, the man who always wanted too much. That wasn't maturity. It was manipulation. A woman who loves you may not be perfect, but she will try to meet you halfway. She'll want to know what makes you feel fulfilled. She'll want to see you happy. If your needs were invisible, if she made you feel like asking for the basics was too much, then you weren't her partner. You were her resource. 3. She avoided every conflict. Real love doesn't crumble when things get hard. Disagreements happen. What matters is whether both people care enough to work through them. When someone loves you, they'll fight for the relationship, not against it. But with her, every argument ended in blame, silence, or escape. She never sought resolution, never cared about fixing things, never asked, "How can we make this better?" She was comfortable leaving the wounds open because she didn't care if the relationship bled out. Avoidance wasn't peace. It was neglect. And neglect is the loudest way of saying, "You don't matter to me." 4. She never pictured a future with you. Think back. Did she ever talk about building something together? Did she ever ask where you were headed? Or dream with you about a life beyond the present moment? If she dodged those conversations, it's because she never saw you in her tomorrow. You weren't her plan. You were her placeholder. 5. She didn't value you as a man. Love is recognition. It sees who you are at your core, your strengths, your flaws, your unique spirit, and cherishes it. But she didn't. Your achievements were minimized. Your qualities were ignored. She wasn't proud of you. She was indifferent to you. And indifference is not love. A woman who truly loves you makes you feel respected, appreciated, and seen. If you constantly felt invisible beside her, it's because to her you were. 6. She felt no fear of losing you. A little jealousy isn't immaturity. It's evidence of care. When someone values you, they fear losing you. They want to keep their place in your life safe. But she showed no reaction, no spark of protectiveness, no concern when others had your attention. That wasn't confidence, it was detachment. And a detachment means you never held her heart. 7. She abandoned you in the storm. Love is proven in difficulty. Anyone can stay when life is easy. But when you were hurting, when life tested you, did she stand with you? Or did she disappear, leaving you alone to fight your battles? Real love doesn't abandon. It doesn't treat your pain as an inconvenience. If she left you in your lowest moments, then she never loved you in your highest. 8. You were never her priority. Where people spend their time reveals where their heart is. She always had time for others, friends, colleagues, social events, but somehow never for you. You gave her first place. She gave you the background. And that imbalance is not love. It's convenience. 9. She erased you without hesitation. When real love ends, there's usually a goodbye, a message, some trace of pain. Love leaves echoes, even after it breaks. But she disappeared. Vanished. No closure, no explanation. That silence wasn't strength. It was proof you never mattered deeply enough to leave a mark. She didn't grieve because there was nothing real to grieve. 10. She loved what you provided, not who you were. Her affection rose and fell with what you gave. Money, gifts, trips, attention. Those kept her satisfied. But the moment you stopped feeding her lifestyle, her interest faded. That wasn't love. That was transaction. She didn't love you. She loved the benefits. 11. You never felt truly loved. At the core of it all is this. You always knew. Something was missing. Love doesn't leave you second-guessing. Love doesn't keep you questioning whether you're enough. Real love is undeniable. It comforts, strengthens, and makes you feel secure. If you never felt that, it's because it wasn't there. What you had wasn't love. It was an illusion. And here's the liberating truth. You didn't lose love when she left. You lost an illusion. What feels like heartbreak is really the breaking of a spell. And yes, it hurts. But illusions are meant to be shattered. Don't romanticize what was never real. Don't mourn what was never yours. Love is not neglect. Love is not silence. Love doesn't need to be begged for. If you had to fight to prove it existed, it wasn't love. Now you know. And knowing is power. The man who sees the truth cannot be deceived again. From this moment forward, refuse to settle for anything less than love that is real, reciprocal, and undeniable.